VT. So it should come up. Yeah. Good afternoon, witches. Oh my god, it's like some kind of heat wave outside.
Weather bomb.
It's a weather bomb. A weather bomb. So yeah, hence the fan. Insane out there. You've just been to feed my friend's cat and it's like I'm wilting. So yeah, if I stop to fan myself, it's because I'm boiling hot. So you're not late, we're early. We always get here a little bit early. So how are you all this today, on this afternoon, or morning, depending where you are, obviously. Or maybe it's evening where you are. Or maybe it's the early hours of the morning. What? Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
This is hot.
Ian's monitoring comments today. Because I can sort of read them, but I'll be squinting the whole way through. Oh my goodness. It's so hot. It's insane. I do hope it's not this hot when we go camping. Universe, I hope you're listening to me. We don't want it this hot when we go camping because this is stupidly hot for camping. You can't do anything because you can't, the tent's hot, outside's hot. So you can't do anything. At least in here it's nice and cool. It's coolish anyway. Oh. Wee. So how are you all doing today? Have you got crazy hot weather where you are? Oh, blimey. It's mad. And yes, my wrist. La 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 la. It's had a test actually over the past couple of weeks. A yoga festival. And last night we did a ghost hunt. And what was that testing for my wrist? I don't know, the doors were heavy because there were lots of heavy fire doors, and yeah, I didn't really think about it when we were there, but obviously my wrist was very achy this morning, so holding open fire doors, heavy fire doors, obviously stretched it some. So yeah, last night it was 9 o'clock, wasn't it? From 9 till 5 o'clock this morning. So we had like maybe, I think I probably got 4 hours sleep, which is normal for me, I think. Yeah, not a lot of sleep. So yeah, it's an old coaching inn, which is now a pub and hotel. Reputed to be very, very haunted, but to be honest, we didn't really get much activity. There was some very cool bits, but I wanted to be running on adrenaline and be really scared, but nah. So we might do another one. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Let's try incense.
Incense, INCENSE. So I'm going to start. Let me just give myself a spray. Oh my god, it's crazy. So the spray that I've got here, it's really nice actually. It's orange, sweet orange, and oak moss, which is very sun, but it's lovely. It kind of wakes you up. It's kind of how would I describe it? It's like sort of musky sweet, because oak moss has a very earthy kind of musky smell, to my nose anyway. Okay, so I'm going to begin. So, witches, banishing. So some people don't like banishing. Some people don't believe that you should banish. The way we kind of see it is if something's attacking you, banish the fucking crap out of it, yeah? Whether that's physical, mental, spiritual, whatever, banish it. End of, yeah? Hello, Michelle! So yeah, banish it. Just banish it. Be done with it. Don't, and then don't give it, unless you are working on a banishing over a period of time. Once you banished it, just forget about it, yeah? Hello! Is it hot where you are, Michelle? It's bloody boiling here today. It's gone from being kind of rainy and windy and stormy to intense bloody heat. It's insane. So, okay, so this afternoon we are I can't read that. What does Michelle say?
Oh, it's just coming up. As I said, I'm feeling banished already.
Oh, well, you are. Actually, no, I actually prefer the word banished to banished. It just sounds nicer. Banished. Be thee banished. It's very Shakespeare, obviously.
Well, I've got greetings. Welcome to What's in the Cauldron.
What's in the cauldron?
Angie Welton.
What's in the cauldron?
Angie will be making a rather fiery banishing.
It has elements of the different elements, actually. But I'm going to talk about that. Right. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about the reason for making a banishing incense. I'm also going to talk about, obviously, the ingredients. So I'm going to go through a list of potential ingredients. And this list is by no, it's not a, set in stone list. Because if you have things that you want to add to it, then by all means add them. I am not your guru. So, evolve it. I suppose that the idea of this is to kind of, well, it's guidance, isn't it? That's all we ever do is we guide, we give you the tools, and then you go and experiment. That's always what we do. So I'm going to go through a list of potential ingredients and what they correspond to. So the way I did it was the energy of the herb that I wanted to tap, and also the elemental that it corresponds to, but also the planet that it corresponds to as well. Because I tried to have a balance. I will then talk about the ingredients that I chose to put in mine. One of them, which is, well, a couple of them actually, which are particularly stinky, which when you're doing banishing incense, big stinky's good. Yeah. Sounds a bit funny, doesn't it? Eh?
Della.
Who?
Della.
Della. Hi, Della. So I'm actually going to make a little bit of incense with you today, to kind of show you. I might use the little one. I don't know yet. I might do a small amount because I've still got some in here. That has gone down quite considerably because I'm using it every day, sometimes twice a day at the moment. So I'm going to give you a few cool little tips actually for when making incense. Now, if you've done our Curious Novice course, you'll already know some of this stuff. So just bear with me. One thing I would suggest when you're making incense, if you've got stuff in there, well, it's going to kind of turn out to be a powder anyway. But if you are using anything that is a powder, so for example, asafoetida is usually a powder. I tend to use a mask when I'm adding it because my nose is so sensitive. It just, it just sends my nose into spasms. So wear a dust mask, yeah, if you have a sensitive nose. I'm then going to go through how you can activate and charge your incense. Any substitutions, maybe. What else? Tweaking it if you need to. So I did actually tweak the original recipe when I did a test burn. But I'll talk about that as well. Oh, and the thing I love about this incense is you can make it modular. What's that? I hear you say. What's modular incense?
It's plastic.
No, it's not plastic, and it's not IKEA furniture either. But I do love IKEA furniture. I love all things modular, actually. If it's modular, I love it. Now, for our advanced witches, I do actually break the recipe down even further into its modular components. But, you can do that yourself as well. So what do I mean by it being modular? Well, what's interesting is when I was making it, and I got this as downloads when I was making the incense, is that sometimes you might want more protection on any one particular day than maybe a banish, for example, or you might want more of a purification than a protection. So what you can do is you can actually separate the ingredients into the 3 different energy signatures, make up, a small amount of each one, and then combine them as you wish. Modular incense. And I'm actually thinking of, this is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing for the Witches Bazaar, modular incense. So you'd have a group of 3 different energies and an overall energy. So the overall energy of this one is banishing, but the 3 components are banish, protect, purify, or banish, purify, protect, depending
Michelle
which way.
says the devil's dung smells horrible. It's pronounced not pronounced that.
Asafoetida.
Asafoetida.
I think that's asafoetida. Oh, have I spelled that wrong? I think I spelled that wrong. Asafoetida. I don't know how you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it. But it's the curry smell. Yeah. But I'll tell you, because I did tweak it with that and some other ingredients. So you can make it modular, and like I say, I think that's going to be something that so the 3 things are usually around health, wealth, love, and like banishing, or you might call that stealth, because that is part of stealth.
Yeah,
when you're banishing. Yes, it's stealth. Sthelthiness.
No mincing over here, my dear.
No, he doesn't mince anywhere. Hello, Spur.
Della says, love this idea. Michelle is going, ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha, indeed. And that was a download. I got so many downloads when I was making this incense. It's insane. And for our advanced witches, there's, like I said, I've broken down the components of each energetic component. So the banish, purify, protect. And I've also included the symbols, because I got symbols downloaded to me as well. And they're included in the advanced witchcraft notes. Now, these notes, which you can kind of see in the strange sunlight, I will put these up after the video. And what you've got in there is you've got the potential ingredients, the list that I used and what I used them for. And then there's a spare sheet on the back, so you can put your own stuff in there. Okay.
So that's not a wiki leak. That is a witchy leak.
That's a witchy leak. Ugh. Is that because you haven't been doing your pelvic floor exercises? Oh my god! Look at the freaking fashion. I've got to stop saying that. I did. Right. Okay. So Why did I decide to do this? Okay, well, we had an incident, let's call it an incident, and we had witnesses here in our actual home at the time, with our very aggressive downstairs neighbour. And a few things kind of clicked into place, I suppose, because both myself and Ian, from a soul realignment point of view, are in our manifesting. We're very much about get rid of what is not working, and what we're left with is what works. So for us, banishing is second nature, if you like, because we even do it with people. We do it with people, like my dad. It's like, nah, sorry mate, you're not resonating, bye bye. So we do it with people. If they don't resonate anymore, off they go. Which might sound really cold, but sometimes you have to do that. If the people that are around you are not resonating with you anymore, so whether that's they're attacking you in some way, shape or form, or they might just stop talking to you for no reason. There has to come a point where you go, right, that's it, cuts. That's a wrap.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning, wasn't we? About the two aspects of how we view things. So you have the scenery, and you have the players.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that actor might be playing the part of a father, not very well.
Yeah, not very well.
And you as the director might be going, actually, that person who's playing the part of whoever it is,
it's a little bit shit.
Good. Next.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do a lot more auditions.
We need to recast that particular part. Yeah. So yeah, I think whatever your reason for, wanting to do some banishing, I think never ever feel like you're doing something wrong, because a lot of people, I don't know, they get all judgy about banishing. It's like, oh, it's the law of three. Well, actually, if someone's attacking you physically in the street, are you not going to defend yourself? Yes, you are. So you do exactly the same if you're being attacked in another way. And that's that. Hello, Andy. Okay, so the kind of thing that I make a banishing incense, but don't do it rainbows and unicorns. Do it like, fuck you. Yeah, this has got to be the stinkiest incense I've ever made in my life, but I can still sit in the same room with it because I'm not being banished. Yeah, so make it really stinky. Yeah, so you have to open the window, but not so stinky that you can't actually be in your house. I mean, I suppose there are instances where you might want to do that, but I wouldn't really buy into those, because a lot of people would say that's around your home being possessed or something, which I don't buy into that crap. So because that kind of energy has to be fed by people, and if you don't feed it, it doesn't manifest. So
my home is possessed by another child.
Thank you. So
it's a running amok.
You can tell it's hot. He's on one. He's on a roll. So yeah, it is stinky. So I warn you now. And there are some things I haven't put in there, partly because I prefer to use them on their own to make a point. Literally make a point. So anything that's got sharp things on it, you can actually you might not agree with this, you can actually throw that around in your enemy's garden or something. Maybe, just an idea. Instead of putting it, because if you put it in your incense and then you are activating it, you're gonna get bloody fingers. All right, So that's purely practical. It's the only reason I haven't put anything spiky in here, okay? But what you could do if you wanted to, you could add the spikes afterwards at the end, yeah? Just don't activate it with your fingers because you'll get bloody hands. Okay.
Or you could wear gloves if you've got sensitive things.
They'd have to be very, very thick, like leather. So I wouldn't advocate that, to be honest. Right.
Arm length.
So the other thing, when you're burning this incense to banish, make sure you've got the windows open, as many as you can, all right? Because you want that energy, whatever that is, to go out.
You end up banishing yourself.
You could end up banishing yourself. But I will say this, yeah. This is all about your intention. Magic is always about intention. It's about the energy you put into it, yeah. So from start to finish, when you're making your incense, it's the energy that you put into it. Because without that energy, it's just incense, yeah. That's all it is. So the more you can infuse it with your intention, the better it's going to work. And I will say, we have been using this in conjunction with the Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram, the Tree of Life, Cross of Light, circle casting, and mantra a lot. And Ian's been doing some extra banishing stuff as well. What have you been doing banishing wise?
Black salt.
Black salt.
Baphomet black salt.
Baphomet black salt ritual. Is that something that you come up with? Cool. If anyone's interested in finding out about the Baphomet black salt ritual, just give us a shout and I will get into. I will prize it out of him because he doesn't give away stuff, you know. He doesn't.
Elaine has joined us.
Hi, Elaine.
Elaine Cooper.
Okay, so without further ado, so first of all, the list of potential ingredients and what they correspond to. So, like I say, this is by no means, you know, a set in stone list. If you have other things, because the books I used, they were Scott Cunningham's books. I've got 3 herbal books of his. So I just went through and just kind of went with what, well, number one, the ingredients that you've got, always work with what you've got, yeah. And also the energy that I wanted, and obviously, and I wanted a balance of elementals and a balance of planetary influences as well. But if you don't want to take those into account, you don't have to, yeah. That's just something I like to do. Everyone's different, don't forget that. So potential ingredients. So this is potential ingredients, okay? So you've got angelica root. Angelica root. I haven't got all the potential ingredients here. This is just the ones that I used. So angelica root. That's from the Alchemist Apothecary, who are on. You're right. On Amazon. They're on Amazon. Angelica root. Now that's for protection and for banishing, and it corresponds to the sun and to fire. Okay, this is all written down, so you don't have to take notes. It's all in the notes that I'll post up at the end of the video. You've got anise. Now that's not, I was just checking, that's not star anise, that's anise as in anise, yeah. They're very different. They have different properties. So that is for protection and purification. So the 3 energetic qualities, because it was just originally going to be for banishing, but I thought, well, no, hang on, because there's something else here as well. Because you might want, once you've banished, you might then want to give it a purify, and then you might actually want to set up some protection, yeah, if you feel you need to.
Well, also, when you're bringing new stuff in, you've got to make room for
absolutely
stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
You might need to banish it because it bloody well won't move.
So yeah, anise is for protection and purification. And that corresponds to Jupiter, planet Jupiter, and to the element of air. Asafoetida, if that's how you pronounce it, the stinky one. And that I had in my cupboard for ages before I consecrated it. And that had been in my cupboard for donkey's years, yeah, and it's still very stinky. So when I go and buy some new stuff, because I need to, because I've only got a tiny bit left, when I go and buy some new stuff, it's going to be extra stinky. This is a very potent banishing herb spice, okay? Very potent. And it corresponds to, it's also for protection, but it's very good for banishing. Yeah, you could just burn that on its own. Bugger me, your house would stink, but it will work. Now that corresponds to Saturn and to fire. Now Saturn is the protector, yeah. When it, unless it's like it is at the moment, it's in retrograde, which is more an expansive energy than it is protection and structure. And the fire, obviously, banishing, yeah, big one. You've got ash, so that might be ash bark, or it might be leaf, which is protection, and that corresponds to the sun and to the element of water. You've got bay. Now I love bay in any incense, because and just burning bay leaves is amazing as well, because that does all three. It protects, it banishes, and it purifies. And that is pure sun. So it's sun and fire. Yeah, it's pure. Yeah, love it. You got benzoin. Benzoin is a resin that smells like vanilla. So it's got that vanilla-y smell. Yeah. God, it's gone right up my nose. And that corresponds, that's for purification. And that corresponds to the sun and to air. So we have quite a lot of it in our air incense, actually. And it does, what's interesting, when I burn it, it makes me cough. So it makes air flow. It's weird. We've got burdock root, which is all about purifying and protection. And that corresponds to the planet Venus and the element of water. Dragon's blood resin. So I have a tiny bit. You see that? I've got a tiny bit of dragon's blood left. Dragon's blood is very expensive. I think you can buy wild harvested dragon's blood on Amazon, and you get like something like 25 grams. It's I don't even think it's that. I think it's about 10 grams for like £5 or £6. So it's quite expensive. Yeah.
When you say it's fire, the ultimate duality, destroys and provides warmth and energy as well.
And renewal, because without the fire, there's no renewal. You've only got to look at what happens after a forest fire. It clears everything, and then new stuff comes. It's amazing. So dragon's blood, very expensive. Yeah, if you want to go for it, then do it. But just be aware that if you're using it in incense and you're using a lot of it, it's going to cost a lot of money. But what you can do, and we sell this on our website, we have dragon's blood substitution, which is red sandalwood and frankincense with that's lavender. I think it's lavender. There is an essential oil in there. I can't quite remember what it is, but it might be lavender. I can't remember. But we do sell that on our website, witchesbazaar.com, if you want dragon's blood substitute. Works perfectly well.
Michelle says, if you're making it for a particular person, you can write their name on the bay leaves and make it more specific.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like that.
I like that a lot. If you wanted to as well, just an idea, you could do a quick sigil for their name and for their energy. And when you've made the incense, just draw that sigil into the incense. If you love sigil magic, I don't know, some of you do, that'd be a really cool way to charge that with their particular name. So although we initially were using it for, we're also using it to banish any anything that's blocking our path for getting where we want to go. So the specifics have been in the words that we've been using while using the banishing incense. Here's a little idea. Shh. If you can get hold of some of the hair or something, you know, put that in the incense.
Pubic hair.
Any hair, anything that is, well, a bit of dirt from around the front door, for example. Perfect.
Little pair of scissors.
Oh.
I just had an image of following someone down the street with a pair of scissors behind them.
You know, nothing wrong with that. And if you wanted to do something extra special with it, you can make a poppet, fill it with nettle leaves, because nettle is on the list as well. Nettle, which does banish and protect. So make a poppet, fill it with nettle leaves, put the name of the person, place, or thing, whatever it is, in there, and burn it with the banishing incense. Yes. Okay, so that was dragon's blood. Frankincense, which does all three: banish, protect, purify. Oh, sorry, dragon's blood, Mars, planet Mars, an element of fire. Frankincense is sun and fire, so it's another one which is very powerful. You've got garlic. I love putting fresh, and this is fresh garlic. I keep mine, I've got a big jar of it in my cupboard over there. But for what I do is I keep a small jar as well in the under my altar in the cupboard. I keep it in an amber bottle in the dark so the light can't get to it. And I'll tell you, this bottle, it stinks, yeah. Doesn't go off. It does not go moldy, yeah. So I'd experiment with that in where to keep it, because obviously if, you know, if you don't live in the UK, or if you've got slightly more damp weather conditions, you might need to rethink where you keep it. So you might want to keep it in the fridge in an amber bottle. But what it does is the garlic goes kind of translucent. I haven't got any in there at the moment that's translucent because I had to top it up. I used it all. That was full up. But it goes translucent and it gets really, 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 really stinky in there. Yeah. Seals in that energy. And I just love adding fresh garlic.
Nice piece of witchy kit.
Oh, yes. Nice bit of witchy kit. So, yeah, garlic. Very potent for banishing. Again, that's why it's connected with vampires. Yeah. And protection as well. And again, that's Mars, planet Mars, element fire. Whorehound. Whorehound. Love this stuff. It looks a little bit like mugwort, actually. It's Greek. It's a Greek herb. I think it's Greek. I think this came from Greece. Whorehound. That's protection, and that corresponds to the planet Mercury and the Earth elemental. Hyssop. Where's my hyssop? Hyssop. Which you can use as a tea as well. Do it as a brew. Hyssop. Hyssop is protect and purify and corresponds to Jupiter and fire.
Yeah, banish all those nasty germs.
Yes. Juniper berries. You could, if you wanted to, if you're brave enough to pick the thorns of a juniper bush, ouch, you could add them at the end. Make sure it's at the end, because I don't want you coming to me going, oh my God, my fingers are so sore because I've been by the pricking of my thumb. You know, I don't want to hear none of that. Put it in afterwards. So juniper is all about protection. and corresponds to sun and fire. Lavender, which is protection and purification, and corresponds to Mercury and the element of air. Lemon verbena, which, when you say lemon verbena, you don't think, oh, that's a really powerful herb, you know, it adds extra oomph to everything you do. It's just lemon verbena. But it does. It's a bit like galangal. If you add it to a spell, to incense, to whatever, it will ramp it up, okay?
I just like the way you say that.
What, ramp it up?
Like galangal.
Galangal.
Yeah.
Galangal.
The program today
is galangal. So lemon verbena, protection. That's its main function, but it adds oomph, okay? So if you wanted to add galangal in here, just to give it some more oomph, you can. Lemon verbena corresponds to Venus and air. You have the lovely mugwort. Where's my lovely mugwort? Where is she? There she is. Big old jar of mugwort. We've seen loads growing in our enchanted woods. It's growing everywhere this year. So we're going to do a bit of a harvest on that once it's ready. Yeah, mugwort, amazing for protection. Corresponds to planet Venus and element of air. We've got mullein as well for protection. I haven't got that here because I didn't use that one. And corresponds to Saturn and fire. Myrrh. There's my myrrh.
Leonie says, looks like I don't have some herbs here, but I have galangal. I can't say it as good as you.
Galangal.
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 On the program today, it's galangal.
Galangal.
Don't worry if you don't have all of them.
Galangal.
What was you saying about herbs? You don't have all the herbs. Work with what you got.
Okay, is it Leonie?
Yeah.
Is it Leonie?
It is.
I said at the beginning, Leonie, always work with what you've got. Don't feel that you have to go out and buy something, oh, you know, oh my God, you know, I haven't got that, so I must go and spend like £40 on it. No, work with what you've got. I'm going to talk about substitutions in a minute as well. And these are only a list of potential ingredients. They're not all the ingredients. They're just gives you an idea of kind of what I was looking for when I was going through my books and looking for, you know, what to put in this blend. So myrrh, myrrh, protection, purification, and corresponds to the moon. And it has kind of two elements to it. It's earth and water. We've got nettle for banishing and protection. It corresponds to Mars and fire. Now, the next one, some people consider this herb to be toxic. I haven't used it, so I wouldn't know. But what I would say is different people react to different herbs in different ways. When I burn mugwort and wormwood for scrying, my eyes will not stop streaming. Whereas Ian, no problem. His eyes don't even water. So.
Annie says, hi.
Horses for courses. Who?
Annie.
Hi, Annie. Yay, you made it. Cool. So, pennyroyal. Like I say, some people consider that herb to be a no-go area. If you've used it before, not had a problem, go for it. It's very good for protection and banishing, and corresponds to Venus and the element of earth. Black pepper, very good for protection and banishing, and corresponds to Mars and fire. That's why it's so hot. Yeah. Rosemary, classic rosemary, banishing. Not banishing, purifying and protection, and is sun and fire again. You got rue, which is all three: protect, banish, purify. Did I put that on there? Oh, I did. Tobacco. Now, some of you, if you don't smoke, then you won't have tobacco. If you do, and I don't mean tobacco from a cigarette, I mean like loose tobacco, and the the better quality you can get, the better it'll work. Because tobacco is a way to get rid of crap, yeah, for banishing. Then that's what tobacco does. It banishes, yeah. That's what it was used for. It used to send the shit that you didn't want anymore up in with the smoke, yeah.
A lot of banishing going on.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, why do people smoke? They want to get rid of a certain way of feeling, do they not? They want to get rid of stress, which is why they smoke. That's a banishing. So yeah, tobacco. And that's Mars and fire. You got vervain, which is really good for purifying and protection. Vervain is also really good if you want to consecrate something like a cauldron. Just light a coal and whack loads of vervain in there, and that will consecrate your cauldron for you. So vervain, purification, protection, and corresponds to Venus and water. I love this next word, woodruff. Woodruff, which is a very Beltane herb, yeah. When we had our Beltane celebration a few years ago out in the garden, I made woodruff wine. Oh my fucking God, was it strong? Jesus, oh my God. Yeah, it was mad. Purification, woodruff. What was that just went there? Something just floated down there.
Well, that'd be a form of energy.
Okay. It wasn't you. You didn't put your leg out or anything. Okay.
My legs are not that long. I just have about 9 foot.
That was just weird. It was like, so there's remnants of the ghosties from last night.
9 foot legs.
Okay.
I'd like to have 9 foot legs. You're very tall.
Yes, you would be very tall. So yeah, woodruff, purification, Mars and fire. Wormwood, another one for banishing. And the interesting thing about wormwood, if you grow wormwood in your garden, nothing else will grow around it. So it's really good for keeping weeds at bay, actually. Little thing I learned when I was planning our garden a little while ago. Not that we could get wormwood to grow in our bloody garden, but I did try. So wormwood, banishing, corresponds to Mars and air. And yarrow as well. Now some people say, talk about yarrow like it's some kind of baneful herb. I've used it in incense, never had a problem, so I haven't dropped down dead yet. Well, not that I know of. So yarrow's good as far as I'm concerned. But again, for banishing, corresponds to planet Venus and the element of water. So, like I say, that is not, it's not a fully comprehensive list. It's just a list because I'm all about the process, yeah. So I will go through, I'll make a list of herbs. I will then, of the ones I've actually got. So I won't go, oh, I need blah, 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 blah for that. Oh, I've got to wait 2 weeks for it to come. It's like, no, work with what you've got, yeah. So I went through the list. This list here is the list of stuff that I've got on the shelves and in my amazing apothecary chest over there. So from that list, pick out, what you have in your cupboards, what you like to work with. So if you are working from a planetary point of view, go with planetary influences. If you want just banishing, then just go banishing herbs and stuff. So yeah, like I say, this can be made modular. I mean, I love this thing, modular incense. It's not something I've ever heard of, so this is new, brand new.
If you, if you're starting out, because it's a recipe.
Yeah,
so
it's a recipe.
If you're starting out cooking,
yeah,
you might not have all the herbs to
absolutely
make your recipe. But as you become a more experienced cook or alchemist,
yeah,
you begin to bring in.
Yep.
And the way that you made one meal at the beginning of your journey will be very different.
Yes.
To
when you make it again further down the road, absolutely. So from this list that I've just gone through with you, which I'm going to say it again, is not a set in stone list. Yeah. If you have herbs and spices and roots and stuff and barks and berries and whatever that work for you, then use those, yeah, because it has to resonate with you, yeah. And you know, when you look at what you've got in your cupboards and on your shelves, they're the things that resonate with you. You know, if you I don't know, something that I bought a little while back to make some kaifi incense. I still haven't made the kaifi incense, but I've still got, you know, some of the ingredients that I bought especially for that, and it's like, okay, didn't work with what I got, did I? So work with what you got. So from this list, I chose 17 ingredients, which in numerological terms works out to an 8, which is a number which reoccurs for me a lot. So, but you know, you don't have to use numerology. You can just, you know, use 5 or 4 or 3. It doesn't matter. It also covered all the planetary days of the week and all the elementals. So I made sure there was at least one of each element and one of each planet in those ingredients, yeah. But I did focus on fire and sun because that is my nature, yeah, in my astrological chart. So it doesn't have to be complicated. I just like bringing in the details, yeah, because that's what I am. And you know, any of these dry ingredients can be substituted. For example, any resin can be substituted with frankincense. Any herb can be substituted with rosemary. Yeah. So if you just use rosemary and frankincense, that's fine. Work with what you've got. And also, any of these dry ingredients can be subbed out with an oil, with an essential oil. A natural essential oil, not synthetic, because when you burn those synthetic ones, it's not good. So always make sure they are proper essential oils. Companies I use Naissance a lot, and they do the bigger bottles of essential oils as well, which works out a lot cheaper and is better for the environment as well. Because it cuts down on actual physical shipping the stuff. It also cuts down on the amount of glass you use. It's just, you know, one of those little things that I add in.
Evolving.
Absolutely. So the ingredients I used. So I went through the list. What I recognise is frankincense does all 3. So frankincense holds it all together, if you like, yeah, because that does all 3: banishes, protects, purifies. All right. So if you were making the incense modular, you'd have a little bit of frankincense in each. So for banishing, stinkier asafoetida, yeah, had to be that, and garlic, a must for those top ones, yeah. Also angelica root I chose for banishing. You got the dragon's blood or dragon's blood substitution. I used a little bit of both because I didn't have enough dragon's blood, so I used a bit of the substitute as well. Whoops. The really nice thing about dragon's blood, what it does is you can't really see it, is it does make it it turns it a reddy colour, yeah. And if you wanted to, you could mix it with, if you make your own alkanet oil, which is a luck oil, you could get a really nice red oil colour, which you can then add if you wanted to. Just a little experiment.
Wendy says she loves frankincense.
Yeah, I do, Wendy. I think it's amazing. The first time I ever bought some proper frankincense, it was from the yoga show, and there was it's called the Frankincense Store. And they are online actually, but they've also got a store. Well, they used to have a store up in Camden actually, in the Arches. It's very expensive, but oh my god, is it worth it when you can afford it? Shit, this stuff is like nectar of the gods, Ian. And the first time I burnt it, I was here with my friend and we were doing some yoga, and I said, "Oh, I'll just burn some incense." Oh my god! But I was going to have to. Well, I think my neighbours thought I was going to have to ring the fire brigade because the smoke that came off this frankincense was insane. I didn't expect that. It's the first time I'd ever, burnt proper frankincense. Yeah, there is a strain of frankincense, or even frankincense, that you can chew for oral health. But if you go to the frankincense store, if you Google the frankincense store, it actually tells you which strain of frankincense is used for chewing, because it goes like gum. It's quite amazing, actually. And if you've got any problems with your teeth or your gums, you just chew a bit of this. Chew it until it becomes soft, and then kind of pack it in where the problem is, and it will sit there, because it kind of goes a little bit, once you've kind of packed it in, it goes a little bit hard, so it will sit there for a little while, and it draws out any infection, anything like that. It's amazing. Anyway, where did I get to? Garlic. Good old garlic, the stinky stuff. Horehound for banishing. Juniper. Like I say, if you want to put the spiky bits in, do it at the end. And myrrh. So the other thing, when you make an incense blend, always try and have some, if you can, some resin, because that will make it burn a bit longer. If it's all just roots and plant material, it will burn very, very quickly, and it could smell a bit bonfirey. So if you can, just add a little bit of resin. Yeah. So protection, I decided on mugwort. Whoopsie. Bay leaf. And I use whole. Well, it's kind of a mixture there. You got whole and broken up bits, because one of our friends, she grows these amazing bay trees in her garden. How's our bay tree doing?
Bay tree.
Yeah, the little bay tree in the garden.
Yeah, thanks. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, she just give us loads of bay leaves, so we've got tons of bay leaves. Burdock root. You can buy burdock root ground already, but I quite like pounding the burdock root. So yeah, like that. Wormwood, and hyssop. So they're all protection. Okay. And then for the purification, I went for rosemary, benzoin. That's the one that smells like vanilla. And the oil, benzoin oil, is it's fucking lovely. Lemon verbena and vervain. Doo-doo. And then obviously frankincense to kind of bind them all together. So the basic recipe, if you're not doing it modular, yeah. Now I did tweak this, because originally I had it. So when I talk about parts, yeah, so 4 parts, 3 parts, half part, I usually go by measuring spoons. So if you want a small amount, you might do, 1 part equals half a teaspoon, for example. Or you might do 1 part equals, if you want to do a large amount, 4 parts might equal, 4 tablespoons. Or a part might equal an ounce. If you're doing a really big lot, it depends. Now I do like my recipes, yeah, because that's just the way I am. But
just for anyone that's coming late, that will be, you're going to put that up, aren't you? Sheet?
Yeah, this sheet will be up in the group after the video. But you don't have to write down your recipes. But I would say, if you're planning on making it again, because the thing about experimentation in any kind of setting where you are testing, yeah, you always make notes, yeah, and you tweak them if you need to. So I'm quite big on that, keep your notes, tweak it if you, and keep that current, up to date, you know what I mean. So when you tweak it, don't forget to write it down, because I've done that before where I think, Oh, I know I tweaked this recipe, but I didn't write it down, so I can't remember it. So I've got to go back to the beginning again. Bugger. So the original recipe in my, because I have a workbook, and then I have my book of shadows, which is where I put the stuff where I've worked it out. Yeah, that's just the way I am. So the original recipe in the banishing, I had it as, what's that, 3? I had 3 parts of asafoetida in there, yeah, and only 3 parts garlic. And in the protection, I only had 2 parts bay. And when I burnt it, I'm like, nah, it just was not stinky enough. It needs to be, for me, it needs to be stinky enough that, you know, and obviously you want the window open if you're banishing, because you want that energy to go out. So you want it stinky enough that it makes you go, whoa, but you don't want it so stinky that you can't be in your house when it's burning. And like I said earlier, you know, I don't think, for me, there would never be a call for that where you have to leave your house when you're doing a banishing, because, well, I don't see the point of that. Nothing controls you that much that you'd have to leave your house if you're doing a banishing, in my own personal opinion.
Unless your dog breaks.
Well, yeah, unless your dog farts, and then you might need to get out quick. Okay, so the basic recipe. So this is all together, yeah. If you're doing it modular, our advanced witches, you'll get the breakdown of the modular stuff. But, you know, you can go through your own list of ingredients and break that down into 3, you know, 3 particular energies, yeah. So for me, and it might be different for you. I've done, purify, banish, protect. You might have 3 different energies that you want to work with for banishing, yeah. So the basic recipe, it's 4 parts frankincense. I did 5 parts asafoetida, and to be honest, I could probably go 1 more even, because although it is very stinky, yeah, it can be stinkier. So I'm gonna do this as we go. So I'm gonna do a very small amount in this little mortar and pestle. I'm gonna do like 1/4, because I've still got some left. So I'm gonna do 1/4. That's 1/4 teaspoon, just to do a small amount. So that's 4 parts frankincense. Okay. It's gonna be a tiny little amount. So that's 4 parts frankincense. What I love when I make incense is, you know, when you're pounding it, it goes everywhere. Bits fly out all over the place. Sometimes it goes in your tea, you know, and it's like you finish and you're like, oh my God, it's like some kind of weird wasteland for herbs and spices and resins. It goes everywhere. So then you have the pleasure of sweeping it all up afterwards. 5 parts asafoetida, yeah, extra stinky herb, 3, 4, 5. And I'll say that sat in my cupboard for many years and it's still stinky, so that stuff keeps a long time. 3 parts dragon's blood, or dragon's blood substitution, which we sell on our website. I'm going to use the sub for this. Yeah, that's lavender in there. What did I say? 3 parts. So whether you're using the sub or the actual dragon's blood proper.
It's a bit like...
What? What?
What? You get that in your cupboard and it's still stinky. I just thought of somebody.
You just thought of somebody?
Yeah.
5 parts garlic, yeah. So I'm going to use that's probably about 2 parts actually. So I'll add 1 in there, make it a bit more stinky. This bottle, where I keep it in tightly closed lid, in the cupboard under my altar. It's mega stinky. 3 parts horehound. So again, remember, this is it's the recipe I've come up with. It fucking works. I tell you now, yeah. The problems we were having, they have definitely been banished. They're very rarely there at the moment. And when we used it to banish any negativity, now I did it for the whole postcode. Well, okay, so let's just banish any negativity in this fucking postcode, yeah? Because, we're doing everything we can to get where we want to get to, but there's something blocking us. And what I realized the other day, after a really weird encounter in the woods with this very aggressive woman, to the point where I had to phone the police because she threatened to punch me on the nose, is that this area is so aggressive. It is aggressive, and it's a very heavy energy, and that needed to be banished big time. And what's really amazing is that we did that particular banishing with the incense in the afternoon, and big words, and sending it back to that particular person who threatened me in the woods. It's gone back to her ×3. So thank you, Michelle, for that. I've been using that a lot. I love that. So simple and so effective. So that evening, 2 amazing things happened, because the idea that we had around banishing the energy around this area is that it's almost like the pathway kept being blocked. So what we've done, we've banished the energy, and the pathway's opened up to the point where to the point where Ian had it was a major occurrence at his spiritualist church, which was quite amazing. And the way unblocked for us with our CBD oil, amazing. So it's a big shift just from doing it that once, banishing the negativity in this particular area. Murphy! Oh, blimey. So, carry on with the recipe. 3 parts juniper berries. Who is it, Ian? We've got 3 parts myrrh.
Salesperson.
It's not the local church then. Still knock on our door. I don't know why.
Well, we was on their blacklist, wasn't we?
Yeah. Now a little tip. I'm just whacking these in as I go. But a little tip when you're making your incense is to use, if you put the resins and like the big things like juniper berries, garlic, things like that, yeah.
And he says Murphy's banishing something in his own way.
Absolutely, he's very good at that.
Like a window, it's lucky I didn't let him out.
Yeah, he can be quite vicious when he wants to be. So yeah, a little tip is if you pound the resins with things like the garlic, the big stuff, yeah, then that'll break down a lot quicker, yeah, and then add the herbs and any powders at the end, yeah. Especially if you have a sensitive nose, like what I do.
Michelle says she's glad it works.
Yeah, and it's still working. It's a daily thing at the moment. Because we want big shifts, we want big changes. So, and putting an end to the machinations of the muggles. What a bad word. Okay. Igvagi. Okay. Right, where was I? Myrrh.
It means the ignorant ones.
Bay leaf. Oh, blimey. So our wrist is still a bit wonky sometimes when it comes to opening things like that. Right, so we have a wee bay leaf. I'll put a little bit more in. Woohoo! We love the bay. It's lovely. Love it. What have we got next? Burdock root. Burdock. So that was 3 parts bay, sorry. 2 parts burdock root. And 2. Lovely. Hyssop. Hissy hyssop. Hyslop. How much hyssop? 2 parts hyssop. And
Actually, is the messy one.
2. Eh?
Hislop is his brother in messy.
Ah, okay. I have no idea whatsoever. Wormwood. I love that word. Wormwood.
I love that word.
2 parts wormwood. So I say I'm doing a small amount here because I've still got quite a lot left in there. Because this is just for showing. Show and tell, as they say. 1 part rosemary. So, you know, 1 part can be a tablespoon, it can be an ounce, it can be whatever, you know, whatever measure you want it to be. So that's 1 part rosemary, 1 part, that's vervain. Whee! And if you wanted to, and again, I would add this as you go. You can add your own DNA, so hair, fingernails, blood, spit. If you wanted to infuse it with your energy, yeah. So if you work more on a bringing things in energy, then you would add that as opposed to getting rid of stuff and then what is left is what you work with. So if you've done soul realignment, that would either be exclusive or inclusive energies, yeah. So we got 1 part. Where am I? Benzoin.
When he says hair is stinky.
Yeah, it would be very stinky. So if you can, yeah, if you can get some of, you know, if it's being used on a person, try and get some of their hair. Stink them out with their own stinky hair smell, so to speak. 1 part lemon verbena. You don't need a lot because it's super powerful, just like galangal. I said that word again, Ian. Galangal. Ah! Oh, no, come near me with all scissors. Do you know, I used to do that when I was a kid. I used to hate having my hair cut. So if anyone came near me with a pair of scissors to cut my hair, I would just scream the place down.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. Not even my aunt was allowed near me with a pair of scissors. Whoops. There we go. See? Flies everywhere. It's going to go in my water, you know. So, actually, I'm going to put it, I've done a small one, but I'm going to put it in there because that's not heavy enough. So, if you're using a pestle and mortar, I know some of you don't, but what I would say about a pestle and mortar, yeah, it's symbolic. Think about it. Protruding thing going into something that is not protruding. Think about it. It's the male and the female energies coming together, yeah? Think about it. Union. It's the subconscious, conscious mind coming together. Balance. So, I suppose if you weren't using a pestle and mortar, you could still infuse it with your energy. You would just have to do that. If you're using an electric grinder, then you'd have to find a way to do that, obviously, without putting your fingers in it, because you don't want to get your fingers chopped off. But you'd find a way to infuse it with energy. So whilst you are pounding the ingredients, because that's what you're doing, yeah. I use, how do you fly, bugger off. I use a mantra. Sometimes I use a visual, yeah. Sometimes I will, sometimes it's a feeling. So you've got to go with what works for you.
Michelle says, I bought black garlic and used it in my last incense and it worked amazingly well. It's really yummy and oily, so it gives your incense a whole different texture.
Absolutely.
And it really worked. It mixed in and ended up having to add more dry herbs. The effect was great though. And Wendy says, same thing when I plug in my coffee grinder, the male and the female thing.
Yes, good point actually, yeah. Because if you've got, because there's usually a vessel and there's usually the blade which you put in. So yeah, that works. Thank you, Wendy. I like that. So that's actually broken up quite nicely. Just that little bit. A bit noisy, sorry about the noise. So while you are pounding the incense or grinding, yeah, have your intention very clear in your head. Now, if you are feeling quite emotional about what you are trying to banish or who you are trying to banish, then put that in, yeah, put that energy into that, yeah, for sure. Put it in there, because that will infuse it with the energy that you want to infuse it with, yeah. Use it, channel it. Okay.
Wendy says the plug itself is male / female as well.
Absolutely, Wendy. I like that. Yes, I like it. Actually, that's broken up quite nicely. And it's a little bit wet from the garlic. So that's quite nice. When I'm measuring that, when I'm doing the garlic, I never measure it like, oh yeah, ooh. It's usually, an estimation. It's very stinky. So once you've pounded or ground your ingredients, so you'd grind them up as much as you needed to, really. So if you were going to make cones or incense sticks with this, you grind it to its fine powder, obviously, and add. Wendy, what's the ingredient you add to your cones? I've forgotten what it's called. Oh, that's gone completely out of my head. Does it begin with M? Possibly, can't remember. Wendy will post it. So you'd add that if you were making cones or sticks, yeah. Pardon me. I love the loose incense, to be honest. So we use it loose as it is. So once you've done the pounding and you've infused it with your energy, a little witchy tip, yeah, is you want to activate those herbs, yeah. If you think of it in an alchemical way, so in chemistry, you have reagents which reactivate chemicals. In the process, in the alchemical process, you they're called reagents. So they react with what you're putting them into to reactivate them. Yeah, which is what you're doing here. What you're using is you're using your energy.
Michelle says gum mastic.
Gum mastic, yeah. What is it you use, Wendy? There are different things you can use to make like the cones that keep burning or sticks that keep burning. There's something you use as well, Wendy. It's a powder. I can't remember what it's called. So when you activate them, the way I look at it, it's like rubbing fat into flour. So if you've ever made pastry, it's a very similar thing. And again, put your intention into that when you are activating. So you can use music for this. You can use instruments. You could use tuning forks. You can use your drum, you know. What works for you?
Wendy says, she said a brain fart's going on here. She's looking it up.
Is it called Mako or something like that, Wendy?
Yeah, Mako powder.
Mako, that's it. So Wendy knows the kind of ratio of, is it Mako? Mako to your ingredients, yeah. So she'll
Makko.
Yeah. So she can, she can post that there if that's all right with you, Wendy. Because some people, they don't like loose incense, so they'd rather have a stick or a cone to burn. So you're activating, yeah. Use your intention, and when you're doing this, you might see colors in your incense. You might see an aura. You might get downloads. I mean, like I said, when I made this one, I got so many downloads. I'm like, wow, hold on a minute. I'm just trying to make some incense here. So when I finished making the actual incense, I had to then write down these particular downloads that I got. So yeah, when you are activating, it's a bit like when you program crystals. So you can program a crystal for its highest possible good, or you can program it for a specific purpose. Yeah. So you could either, because when you choose your herbs and your spices and your roots and everything, you're going to be choosing them for a specific purpose. So you could, if you wanted to, just activate them for their highest possible good. Yeah. But if you want to be super specific, then infuse it with the energy that you want it for. Yeah. Now I'm taking it as a given that these things that you're putting in here are already consecrated. Yeah. Anything that we use for magic, for a specific magical purpose, like even my blotting paper, yeah.
Wendy says, no problem. Makeup powder is made from the plank of an Asian tree. Oh, sorry, the park. It's vegan.
Cool.
Asian tree. It's vegan then. It's an excellent accelerant as well as a binder if you're making cones.
Cool. Thank you for that, Wendy. So yeah, anything we use for magical stuff gets consecrated before we use it. Yeah. So whether that's matches, blotting paper, what else have I got there? Oh, I've got some little glass dish things that I'm going to consecrate. And I usually have a few items to consecrate at once. I let them build up for a little while and then I'll do the whole lot. Unless I want it quickly, and then I'll do it as a one-off. Even these glass jars, which are just, that's that would have been a coconut oil jar. Yeah. I consecrate everything before it gets used for any magical purpose because it's specific for magic. Yeah. So if you're bringing in herbs and spices and roots and everything, consecrate it. Yeah. Before you use it for your magic. Because what that does is it strips it of any extraneous energy which has been put on it by, stuff out there. And you can also ask, the elements to bless it. You can ask your deities to bless it. And then you can set, what I do is I do a like a cleanse, a consecrate, a bless, and a charge. I ask for it all, you know, why not? How much of it do you want? All of it. So I get all the elements and all my deities to consecrate, bless, and charge it, yeah, and then I set the purpose, and our purpose is what our purpose is. It's where we are heading towards. So I set it, everything for that specific purpose. So everything we consecrate for Magick is heading in that direction, yeah. So you don't have to do that, but if you are working towards a specific goal with your Magick, then do it, yeah. No holds barred. That's what I say.
When he says I use about 2 tablespoons of Mako, which is 6 to 8. What? Let me do it. I use about 2 TSPs.
Teaspoons.
To 6 to 8 TSPs.
Teaspoons. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, Wendy. And then I think there's a period, isn't there, where you let them dry after you've shaped them, and then they're ready to burn, which I think is really cool. So yeah, when you are activating, you know, you might have a visualization that you like to use. You know, like I say, you can use, if it's for a planet, you know, you can use a picture of the planet, you know, whatever works for you. Yeah, you could even make a sigil for this, for goodness sake, because there are advanced witches. There's 3 sigils that are included in the notes, so you can use those. Use them, or you know, use a visualization, a chant, whatever works for you. I had quite a strong visual when I was making this one, so I used it, and the energy as well, because you know, you got to send that shit away, okay, or send it back to him ×3. So once you've activated it, now I didn't use any essential oils in this blend, but you could do if you wanted to, because it's very stinky. And it's already quite wet from the garlic, so the more wet ingredients you kind of add, is more likely that the coal won't actually light it. So it's a balance, yeah. But you can, any of the ingredients that you use, if you want to really use that, but you haven't got the dry ingredient, but you've got an oil, then sub it out. It's you know, an experiment with the quantities of that, yeah. So if you're adding oils, do it after the activation, yeah. And then, you know, really stir them in. I have a specific spoon. It's details again. I fucking love details, yeah. This looks like a mini shovel, yeah. I love this. I have no idea what it would have originally been used for, but I love it because it's like a little shovel. See that? It's really cool. I have no idea what it's for, yeah. But it does. It looks like a mini shovel. No idea. But it's got a lovely shape on it as well. Look at the shape of that. It's so cool. You see that?
It's silver as well.
No, it's silver plate. I wish it was silver. That'd be really cool. So what I do, if I was adding oils, I would add the oils and then mix them in with my special spoon. That's all it gets used for. And for shoveling incense out of the pestle and mortar into a jar. Yeah, that's it. That's all it gets used for. Nothing else. So if you're adding oils, add your oils after you've activated. And then what you want to do is you want to charge it. So we do that using, I used to call it the benediction mudra, but I now call it the invocation mudra because it is so powerful. So if you're using the lesser ritual of the pentagram, you can use this mudra. If you don't want to, if you want to really test your witchy skills, your magical abilities, and use no tools, you can use this mudra. So if you're invoking, you'd use the left side. If you are banishing, use the right side. yeah, because that's projection and that's incoming, so to speak. We have been using that with this incense, and oh my fucking god, is it powerful. It shuts things up very quickly. So yeah. What was I saying before that? Oh, charging. So yeah, so when you're charging, you want both, because you want in and out energy, yeah, incoming, outgoing, projective and receptive. So what I do is I plug it in, a bit like when you're plugging into the earth, plug your fingers into the incense, yeah. And again, you can either use a chant, you can use that. If you've done our energy workshop, you'll know that that energy, wow, stop it. When you work that energy, that is powerful. That is inside you, so use it to charge your incense. So you can use an intention, color, whatever it is, yeah. Or when you were pounding, use the same thing. Use that same energy, that same visual, whatever it was that you used. Use it again when you charge, yeah. And then when you've charged it, there's this really cool thing you can do, yeah. And I've seen some mad things in my incense blends before. I've seen things that look like worms moving through it energetically. I've seen smoke going up from the incense before. I've seen like shadows in the incense. What else have I seen? Like very subtle movements of the incense. Yeah. And all you do for that is I cup my hands around the pestle and mortar. So if you'd used a grinder to grind the ingredients into a powder, you could then tip it into a pestle and mortar and then do the other stuff, yeah, to activate it and everything. So I put my hands around it and try and have just natural light. And then it's like you go into a trance, you kind of dive into the incense, if you like, and see what you can see. Yeah. And you'll find your hands will be they might go hot, they might go cold, but something will definitely happen with your hands, I promise you that. And just sit there for, I don't know, however long, and see what happens. I've already got smoke coming off that, and I haven't even really done anything. I haven't really concentrated on activating or anything, yeah. But just doing that, there was a little tendril of smoke that came up. So that's quite mad. But that's what it looks like, yeah. That's the incense. So yeah, that is, and you don't have to do that. That's not a, none of this is a must. But it's what I found works, yeah. And just doing that little exercise where you dive into the incense, and it's like that thing where you're looking at it, but you're looking through it. So the eyes are relaxed. Yeah, you're not like, oh, I'm staring at you now. That's a bit weird. But when you get into that kind of trance state, so you can use 4-4-8 breath if you want to get into that place, yeah. Is you will see things that I promise you. Okay. And I'd love to hear when you make this incense, because I know you're going to make it. When you make it, I want to hear about what you see when you do this, when you cover it over. So it's not dark, but it's restricted light going in there, yeah. Because what that does is it kind of makes you focus on it, yeah.
Autumn's just around.
Hi, Autumn. So I've just got tendrils of smoke. Tendrils of smoke seem to be a thing for me because I've seen that as an entity. Funny enough, Ian, I saw it yesterday when one of the people on the ghost hunt was doing scrying. I could see tendrils of smoke coming off the mirror. That was a bit mad. I've forgotten about that, actually. So tendrils of smoke seem to be a thing for me. They seem to be something that I see. But it will be different for everybody, okay? but play with it, see what you get. Yeah. And what that does, it's like a confirmation that what you've made is pure magic. Pure magic. Yeah. And I don't know, it's one of those things that builds your confidence as a witch, as a person who practices magic, as an occultist, whatever you want to call yourself. That's what it does. Yeah. So gather your ingredients, you whack them in the thing, you grind them up, you activate them, you add oils if you're adding them, then you charge it, and then you do the little magic work. It's like a trance. You might get, oh yeah, and at any point during this process you can get downloads. Absolutely. So you might get a sigil for this incense, for working with this incense. I got 3. I got a banishing sigil, a protection sigil, and a purify sigil. Yeah, which for our advanced witches will be included in the notes. The next thing you want to do, you need to do a test burn. Okay, what's a test burn? Well, before you actually use it proper, you need to know that it's going to do the job. Now, for some of you, you will just know when you're doing this, you will just know when it's done, and you might not feel the need to do a test burn. Well, I would do one anyway, just to see what happens when you burn it, because that's part of the experiment. So, just burn a little bit, see what happens. So when we burnt this one, it was quite low actually, because it smelled a little bit bonfire-y to begin with, and I'm like, okay, so that needs tweaking. So pardon me, I added more asafoetida, I added more garlic, and I added more bay leaves, which kind of brought it together more and made it more stinky, but better stinky. Yeah. So what happened when we burnt it, yeah, is that outside, because it had been quite a still day, outside got really, really windy really, really quickly, and then it was raining. And I can't remember, I don't think I wrote it down at the time, but the elements were basically saying, yep, you got it. So when you're doing your test burn, see what shows up.
Well,
what manifests.
I always think you should remind people of that little story of us in Dorset when we did the drumming about elements.
Yes. 2 years ago, we were on holiday in Dorset. We were there for 10 days, and it was amazing weather. It was amazing holiday, amazing camping holiday. And on the last day, before we'd done 14-mile walk along the Jurassic coast, up and down those really steep steps. And I really want to do it, but I'm a bit scared of that. Because we're going there in a couple of weeks' time. And so we had a day, the last day, we had a day just on the camp, yeah, just chilling out. We always take our smaller drums with us, so we did a little bit of drumming. I think I took a bell or something. So we were, and Ian came up with this really cool chant about, bringing the elements in and getting them to dance for us. And it was really cool, and it was very powerful.
And then warm sunshine.
And then, yeah, it was a beautiful day. We did the normal things. We had dinner, blah, blah, blah. Amazing sunset. I've got pictures of it. And also the clouds made I heart you in the sky. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. And everyone was like, there was a few people standing around looking at the sunset. And I went, oh my God, everyone, look at that. And they went, oh my God, it says, I love you. It's like, wow, that was amazing. So, so all great, fantastic. And we were sitting in the tent. I think it was raining, wasn't it? So we were sitting in the tent, and all of a sudden, we're like, why is that flashing over there? And it was like this bright orange flashing, yeah? I don't know what that is. What is that? We don't know. And what we realised, oh my fucksies, did the elements come and dance for us? The lightning was orange, yeah, so pure fire, yeah. And apparently what that is, it's the iron in the air actually charges the lightning orange. How mad is that? Because I had to look that up when I got home, because I'm like, I've never seen anything like that. And when I was in Germany, I was there for 3 weeks when I was a teenager, and huge electrical storms, massive, like loud, but never ever seen orange lightning. That was quite mad. And the sound, holy crap-a-roller. Oh my god, the wind, the rain, the earth was like rumbling, and the lightning. And seriously, I have never, ever in my life been in a storm like that. And it went on for 6 fucking hours. 6 hours. And we're like, are we actually going to get to sleep tonight? Because normally I'll sleep through a storm, no problem. It's like, can you sleep through this storm?
We haven't done that chant since.
No, but we are going to do it when we go to Dorset in a couple of weeks' time, just to see what happens. And what's really amazing about this storm is it went along, it came up through Dartford, and it even went up to, because your daughter, Emma, was in...
Well,
our daughter was in, where was she? She was along the Norfolk coast, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she said it was up there as well. So this storm traveled for miles. Holy crap. So yeah. If the elementals react to your burning incense, then you know you're onto a winner. Yeah. So you will know when it's done. Yeah. But you know, if when you burn it, it doesn't quite smell right, then you know, add stuff. So it might be that you need to add a little bit more resin, maybe. It might be, well, for me, I had to add more stinky things. So add more stinky things if you feel it needs it. So I added more asafoetida, I added more garlic, and I added more bay.
Autumn says, I love storms.
They're amazing.
I would have caught some of the rainwater.
Well, do you know, it was so fucking scary. Oh my god, it really was. It was exhilarating, but it was scary, and because we were camping as well, so we don't carry glass containers when we're camping because they're too heavy. Because we carry all our kit, we don't drive. So we're backpackers, really. We're backpacker campers, if that's a thing. So yes, so like I was saying earlier, you can make this incense modular. You can break the 3 energies down, or however many energies you might want. 5 different kind of types of energies for a banishing incense. So you can make it modular, and I love that. I love anything modular. I think it's fantastic. So you know, if you wanted to add more protection to the mix, for example, you could do that. So what you could do is just, you know, add a little bit of this, add a little bit of that, add 2 little bits of that, mix it up, burn it. Yeah, I fucking love that. So with this one, if you were doing it as a modular incense, you might want to add more protection, for example, than purify. Yeah, for example. Okay. And just as a last little tip, when you add this banishing incense to the lesser ritual of the pentagram, if you're doing banishing lesser ritual of the pentagram, oh my fucking god, seriously, super powerful. It's like the superhero of banishing. Yeah. I think I've shared the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram in the group. If not, you can find it online. It's quite simple. But I did it as an audio. I know for our advanced witches, it's on the ongoing learning material. And it's also in the Black Flame Kundalini Yoga, because that's part of it. And we've used other types of banishing as well around words. Because words are, well, they're spells. They intertwine. I think years and years ago, when I was a stroppy teenager, Yes, I was. Um, I recognised, and I wrote a poem about it. Actually, I have to dig that out about how powerful words are. They are spells in themselves. Yeah. So, you know, oh yes, please, water, water. Um, so words are super powerful. So use them. You know, use them in your incense. You know, you could if you even wanted to. Like I say, you could use sigils. You could tear up the sigils and put them in there. I mean, it will smell a bit burny papery. Or draw them in the incense. You know, there are so many ways that you can tailor this to your own needs. Yeah. All I've done here is given you like a guide, like a how-to, but it's by no means, you know, set in stone. Make it your own. Or just follow the recipe. It's entirely up to you. I mean, it works. Definitely.
Autumn says, call me after the live.
Huh?
Autumn says, call me after the live. So I don't know.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, Autumn. So yeah, by teaming it with the lesser ritual of the pentagram, banishing, and other powerful, because Michelle, I love that. If you want to write that down, Michelle, in the comments, the little chant about sending it back to the ×3, I fucking love that. So I've actually used that on 3 occasions in the past week. It's fucking wicked. I love it. Because what is really interesting, yeah. So that's the recipe done. Was there anything else? Write down your recipe if you know, you don't have to write down your recipes, but I think it's always valid to write down your recipes because then you know what you're doing. Yeah. What's really interesting, because this is major, we're doing major banishing work. Yeah, this is major banishing work, especially when you team it with a lesser ritual, banishing ritual of the pentagram, and you know other stuff that we're doing. Is things are clearing.
Thank you so much for today. Now going to try to squeeze in some incense making. This will take care. Thanks again.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you. Enjoy. So what's really fascinating, so this is like what shows up. Yeah, when you're doing this work, it's always about what shows up. So what's showing up? What is showing up? Because we're obviously carrying this banishing energy wherever we go. Yeah. So when we're coming up against the energy, the original energy that we are banishing, so that very aggressive negative energy, yeah, it's like super aggressive negative, yeah, like people want to feel like they can and they will punch you in the face. It's that energy, yeah. Whenever we're coming up against that, it just goes. So whether that's you say, I'm going to actually ring the police, and they go, or
oh, that was for Michelle. That called me after the lunch. That was Michelle.
Oh, Michelle. Okay.
Also, I'm talking to Michelle.
Oh, right.
Sorry.
Confused. Or it could be that something clears really quickly and stuff that you want comes in. Yeah. What else is it? Or, you know, if you're having problems with people and they all of a sudden they go really quiet and they how can I describe that energy? Their behavior turns on its head. Yeah, so things that they would normally do, they stop doing. That, when you observe those things that show up and manifest, that's when you know that what you're doing is working. But what we're finding really interesting is, you know, there's this very, and it is like, it's like when you are doing this banishing, yeah, it's like these really weird, aggressive, manipulative, whatever people. They kind of fly in and they go, and it's like they bounce off. It's really, I think it's fascinating because, and we've both observed that, you know, through the different things that we've been doing over the past week or two.
Well, we've got the word for it, haven't we? We've got the ignorance and I can't remember the other word.
Nescience.
The nescience is, you know, attacking you without knowledge, so those
Yeah.
who don't know, they might get the knowledge and go, oh, right, that makes sense. But they attack you because they don't know. And then there's people that attack you that have the knowledge.
And they're just ignorant. But no, what's really interesting is
that's
observing.
The one from Jason Miller. That's the one from Jason Miller. That's Michelle.
Yes, yeah, that one, Michelle. It's brilliant. And like I say, I've used it 3 times in the past week. Since you told me about it, it's like, right, this is it. So I've been using that with the banishing incense as well. We're also working in a like parallel way with the getting rid of what we don't want, but also not letting those things that we are banishing take over. Yeah. So it's like, right, banish, gone. And at the moment, it is a daily practice because of the ferocity of what we have been experiencing is bonkers. People around here are fucking loonies, I tell you. They really are. You know, just walking your dog and you get some fucking, well, I think the person who verbally attacked me is on, I think she's on cocaine actually, because that's the only explanation for the aggressive behaviour that I've my face.
I had it in my church, spiritualist church.
Yeah, in Ian's spiritualist church. But what is just bonkers about it, yeah, is it got both times. It's been dispersed very quickly. Very quickly.
I mean,
and before it wouldn't have been. It would have been something that would be an ongoing issue, you know.
Well, I've run the church for near enough 20 years, and I've never seen a stand-up argument in my spiritualist church.
Yeah.
And all it was is one of our people that come was having a reading and couldn't hear it, so because someone was talking, I can't hear my reading from the medium, and the woman exploded.
Yeah.
Really bizarre. Who it was said to, and then that obviously activated the woman that asked for the choir, and well, there were lots of people involved, and they got ejected from our spiritualist church.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And then the other one was when I was coming home from that. Was a guy, very bizarre behaviour, having an argument with his phone. Literally shouting at his phone.
Yeah.
Not in a kind of a jokey way, but in a as if it was
sentient
being. Stop ringing me every 10 minutes. And threw his phone on the floor. So I quickly walked around him.
Yeah. Oh dear. So, okay. I was saying something.
Michelle says, same way around here. The energies going on here have been horrible. I'm going to use your suggestion and do it for the postcode.
Absolutely. So if you want the words, we've got some words. I'll share them with you. Let me just find it. So the way we've kind of structured the mantra is around banishing the energies in your area, clearing the path, because that's important, yeah, because you want to banish, yeah, but you also want your path to be clear. And then whatever it is that you want to come to you, or if you are heading towards somewhere, you want that to come down that path, yeah, or you want to be able to walk down that path to wherever it is you want to go to, yeah. And then there's a repetition there of what it is that where it is you're heading to, what it is you want to come to you. And if you're tying it into soul realignment stuff, advanced witchcraft stuff, then what is your soul's desire? So you can bring that in as well. Yeah, so it consolidates that for you as well, for our advanced witches. So yeah.
Also,
so just hang on, just to clarify that. So in the words, if you are trying to banish an energy that is like around your area, so you're banishing. The way I've worded it is banishing the negativity of the people and the energy. Yeah. So it's not that you want to banish all the people; it's that energy that you want to banish. Yeah. So be quite specific with that. In your local area, so if that's a postcode or whatever that is, wherever you live, and clearing your path. Wait a minute, sir. Clear the path, yeah. So whether that's for something to come to you or for you to walk down to get to where you want to get to, and consolidate what that is for you. And if you are doing the advanced witchcraft course, what is your soul's desire? Bring that in as well, yeah. So you can fulfill whatever that is, yeah. Yeah. Yes, Ian. What would you like to say, darling?
thank you so much.
Marjorie.
Thank you so much, Margaret. What I was going to say was that we are developing, probably going to do some videos at some point on the idea and concept of scenery and players. So what that basically means is that you create that scenery. So if, like, for example, if you're going to an event where you've never been before, that will be whole new scenery.
Yeah.
And if there are people there, they will be the players of that scenery. So there might be a workplace or it might be a supermarket. If you go to them on a regular basis, you'll be familiar with how to act within that environment. So you know what magical persona to put on. So
you know what we haven't done for a while? We haven't done a Talking Tuesday for a while. That could be a Talking Tuesday subject.
So that's kind of all I'm saying is that when you're banishing, part of the bringing in is the scenery, so your environment, but also the players, and they are players. And what I'd say to witches is if you observe people in specific scenes or scenery or environments. So an example would be a fireman in the scenery of the fire station is going to act like a firefighter. They're not going to act like a trolley dolly or something.
Yeah.
They take on that magical persona, and they also wear a uniform to personify that magic persona. Now, why that's important for witches is each person that is walking around playing their role. So whether it's mother, father, whatever it might be, it's still a role.
Yeah.
And people play it in different ways. And you can not control, but you can observe that and say, okay, I don't need to be in this particular scene of the great story. Or I'm not playing that role. So if you're being made Sorry.
No, well, no. What came into my mind then is, around here, uh, people are very angry because they feel in some way that they are victims. So they're playing that role of victim, and it's very odd how it then manifests as angry, very aggressive, very I don't intolerant is being polite. I don't know what the extreme of intolerance is, but it is very extreme.
Michelle says, not all the people, just the oxygen pirates.
I love that. Oxygen pirates. I love it.
And then she says, 34 degrees Celsius here. I need one of those fans.
Oh, this fan, we found this. It was in a like a little second-hand shop in a little tiny village in
That's sandalwood, isn't it?
Lenham. It's made of sandalwood. You can pick these up on eBay for like £5. It's sandalwood. So you get an amazing smell as you're fanning yourself. It's amazing. And it's really pretty. It's really pretty. Yeah, you can pick them up on eBay for like £5, £8. No more than a tenner.
Also,
and they're beautiful.
Says, I think the hot weather here is ramping up angry energies as well.
Yeah, it's quite. People go a little bit bonkers when it gets warm.
But when you look at that, that's part of the scenery, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mother
absolutely.
Earth is creating the stage.
Yeah.
And then the actors come on and start to perform
the
angry
their strangeness. Yeah.
The angry scene.
Whereas, I mean, yeah, it can be uncomfortable in the heat, but what it actually does is it makes you go, do you know what? I can't be asked to do anything. Yeah, just moving, just nodding your head is like. It's not often we get weather like that here, to be quite honest, but today is definitely one of those days. And on the subject of sun, before we go, because it's running up to 2 hours, this has been a lot of fun actually. I've really enjoyed this. My book came today. I had to pre-order it because it wasn't available until the end of June. And I've had a little flick through already, and it looks really cool. Pagan Portals, I love their books. Sun Magick, amazing. Just, I mean, look at the cover. Isn't that beautiful? It's a new book, brand new book, which has only just come out.
I've got a brand new book too.
He's got a brand new book as well, yeah. So, okay, meditation to meet a solar animal, for example. Ooh. So you can guarantee there's going to be lots of stuff coming out of this book heading your way very soon. Beautiful. The Sun Tarot card. So, it talks about that, for example, solar offerings, solar spells, sun shield spells. Doesn't that sound amazing? So, yeah, we're going to be talking about, because it is, it's the season, isn't it, for most people, of sun. So, yeah. Going to be sharing bits and pieces of that with you as well. Sun Magick by Pagan Portals, and it's Rachel Patterson who's written it. Yeah, lovely book. Only just been released, so brand new.
She's just bought it.
Seriously?
You crazy kids.
I love it. Because like they do quite a lot.
She's living in your head.
Yeah. They do quite a lot. I've got one on Arawan, I've got one on Rhiannon, and one on Manannon as well, who are the three deities, that I work with. Arawan, I've been working with for about 3 years now. But I never bought a book, which is quite amazing, because his portal is the top of Glastonbury tour. So next time we're in that area, I'm gonna do a little thing surreptitiously, if there's lots of people around, obviously, to make an offering, because it's quite amazing. Yeah. Very cool. Oh, and that's where we got the that meditation. What was that for? Festival of Rhiannon. That's it. That was the full moon one, wasn't it? Where we were riding the horses. So
that.
cool.
Very acting, darling.
Yeah, it was very acting, darling.
Don't get your lungs raw.
Yeah. Roar! That was a little one. Oh dear. So, okay, before we go, has anyone got any questions? Does anyone have anything they want to say? We've got 5 minutes and then we're going to go. Has anyone got anything they want to share? Any questions? Anything, darlings, anythings. Anythings? And there's anything you want to share? Anything you want to ask? Are you monitoring, Dan? You need to be monitoring comments. Is comments monitor?
So, have I got any questions? Let me start. I'll start the questions off. So when one is pounding the incense vigorously, no, serious question.
Oh dear. Pardon me.
When I suppose my question would be how creative can you be around banishing, and what are what sorts of things from a microcosm to a macrocosm?
Well, you could, if you wanted to, you can make this incense to banish something in your body. And you could actually add your DNA to that to kind of supercharge it. Because, incense is as much about, healing as it is anything else. So you can use it you can use a banishing incense to get rid of something that's in your body. Absolutely. To the macrocosm. So, we're banishing the negative energy around this particular postcode. And it's working. Because when we went out yesterday, because we did a ghost hunt yesterday, when we went out, we went to get some tobacco before we met up with people who were driving. There was a very, very interesting energy. It was like stillness. Yeah. Which around here, you don't often get that because there's always someone shouting, screaming, driving like a hooligan in their car or with their stupid little putt-putt motorbikes that they think they're really cool on. And sound like a bee in a biscuit tin. I don't know. Because we walked out and said to him, is it me or is there a very bizarre energy right now? And it was. But when you think about it, yeah, you're creating your reality through your magical work. So absolutely, if you are using banishing in a way, getting rid of negativity in your postcode, then that is going to manifest as your reality. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Di?
Yeah.
Good.
Hello.
Hello, Smurfy.
Michelle has a question.
Yep.
She says not on this subject.
Okay.
But I can't find yoga eye exercises. Where did you say those were posted?
Okay.
And she also says sulfur works great in the banishing incense. I think it's interesting that it's present in the body as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, sulfur is again another very stinky one. You can buy sulfur if you wanted to charge your incense with the energy of sulfur. You can buy it as a crystal. So you could place the crystal in the incense to charge it. If you can't get the powdered stuff. Smurf, honestly, that dog, he's hot. He doesn't like it. What was the other thing? Oh, yoga eye exercises. Okay, so I think I posted them up in the group here, but they're also on the Advanced Witchcraft ongoing learning in the yoga stroke kundalini. No, it's not in there. It's in the talks. That's where it is. It's in the health taboo talk. Health taboo talk. Yes, that's where it is. But I think it is in the group. I think. I don't know if I can find it. Could I find it? I don't know. Let's have a look. Any more questions, Ian?
No. Or Satan would say no.
That's funny. Files. Okay. Michelle, they are in the group under files. It's the second one down. So it's the second to last one. But they are up on the Advanced Witchcraft Ongoing Learning as well in the Taboo Health talk.
Michelle says that might be a better option because you literally have to leave the house. I stunk myself out of the hotel room. And the staff were none too pleased.
No, I bet they weren't. Oh my god. That's the thing about asafoetida.
Near my incense.
Yeah, absolutely. You could double the amount that's in the recipe, and all it'll smell like is that you're making some poppadoms, maybe. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to use the energy of sulfur, yeah, you could, charge your incense with the crystal. You can charge, if you wanted to use, because you can pulverize crystals. If you buy like small beads or something, they're quite easy to, or if you get bits drop off of crystals. I've got a little tin with little bits that have dropped off of crystals. I mean, I haven't got a fucking clue what they are now. There's just little bits of crystals in a little tin.
Well, they're crystals.
They're crystals. Which are then quite easy to break up. And you can put them in your incense. It doesn't hurt.
Because we've always got to remember that. The crystals don't name themselves.
Yeah.
They don't get...
And, when you look at frankincense, yeah, they look like crystals. So it's all crystals.
But it doesn't call it... I want to be called frankincense.
Actually, frankincense might have done that. It might have gone, oh, do you know what? I'm a little bit fantastic. I'm going to call myself Fantastic. No, that's not the right name. Actually, I quite like the name Frank. Okay, so I'm going to call myself Frankincense. Fuck knows where that came from.
And then another crystal comes along. And says that I want to be called.
I want to be called Dragon's Blood. I'm making the gongs go. Am I laughing? Am I talking?
So these things don't know. It's just intellectually. Oh, there was a word. Intellectually imprisoned.
Okay.
That's in my new book.
Is it?
Yes.
Ooh.
How about that?
Ooh.
You like that, don't you? You like that a lot.
Well, I might do.
Intellectually imprisoned. An idea.
Yeah.
Well,
that's dogma, isn't it? Well, that's not really intellectual, is it? That's just following the rules for being a sheep. Yeah.
It's what's put around it.
Yeah.
In intellect or intelligent.
Yeah, it comes across as very intellectual, but actually, it's pure dogma. Yeah.
It imprisons it, which is what they're talking about in relation to.
Do you know, smelling that garlic's making me hungry. That's the only thing. When you put garlic in your incense, it makes you feel
Well,
very, very hungry.
You never listen to anything I say. So easily distracted.
I know. Oh, garlic. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Because we're in question Q and A, darling. Q and A. Just can't get the staff.
I read that, haven't I? That might be a better option because
yeah.
And it just says he. I said that. I pronounced that right.
Yeah. Ooh, I think I've been affected by the sun. Any more questions, darling?
My son does that sometimes. Don't you, Henry?
Yeah. Any more questions?
No.
Okay.
Sorry. In my satanic voice. No.
Okay.
Do you like my satanic voice?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Smurf doesn't like it. He just said no.
I'm so glad you like my satanic voice.
That's because he's Doggy Satan. You're going to say hello, Doggy Satan. Hello, Doggy Satan. Say hello, Doggy Satan. Speak.
No.
Speak.
No.
Speak.
No.
Loud speak.
Okay.
Speak. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Okay, folkies. So, if you do have any questions, if you're watching the replay, for example, and you think, oh, what do I do about blah blah, comment underneath. This video will be up
on. Says she's heading out to the pool.
Ah, nice one, Michelle. Fantastic. So this video will be on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, hi. Which will also link to Pinterest. So if you're watching this on Pinterest, hi. It'll also be where will it be? It'll be up in Curious Novice, in ongoing learning, and on Advanced Witchcraft ongoing learning. I'd say tomorrow now because it's what is it? Saturday. Because I'm a bit tired because we did a ghost hunt last night, so I need to go and eat and get some sleep.
I'd like to do a shout out to anyone on any other worlds that are looking in on our Earth Facebook. A big shout out to anyone on any of the worlds.
Hang on, let me go. Niton!
Shouting out to all you in quadrant
Niton!
Sector 1 of the universe. Whatever you're called. If you're able to put a comment.
Absolutely.
More than welcome.
I think the sun's definitely got to you. And why not? Okay.
Well, that's kind of, I'm jumping in a pool.
Yes, you are. A pool of
madness.
Curiousness. Curious and curious, said Alice. Oh, that's not fit. Murphy's doing foot licks on Ian. I want foot licks. I want foot licks.
Satan likes foot licks.
We're going to go because it's turning into craziness.
My keyboard froze. Have a great day. Hello, Doggy Satan.
Oh, just as a little heads up, yeah. We have been throwing around some very cool ideas for the next adventures of Malcolm and Marjorie and Ted and Doggy Satan and Satan himself. So yeah, that is in the pipeline. It's about to come out the other end.
A very interesting lady called Millicent.
Millicent
Rose St. Andrew.
Yes. And what's her name again?
Julie.
Yeah, Julie. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
That's horrendous.
I ain't chewing no gum.
That's why you attracted that woman yesterday.
Oh, thanks for that. That's lovely. Anyway.
Oh, hell yes, we will be waiting.
Yeah.
Well, we better go.
Yeah, we're going to go.
Go back to hell.
Yeah. Or wherever it is we come from. Who knows? Okay, doggy Satan, he's looking at me like I want my bloody dinner, bitch. So we are going to go. Like I say, if you've got any questions, wherever you're watching this, if you've got any questions, either comment below or send us an email or tell us to fuck off. I don't know. We will see you. Oh, what did we say? Saturday. Magic Monday on Monday. It's the last one for a couple of months because we're going to be focused on camping, so or being camp, whatever. So Monday is the last Magic Monday until September. It's not that far away. It's going so bloody quickly. It'll be Christmas tomorrow or Yuletide. And Tuesday, I'm throwing around an idea of doing a dark moon something or other because there's a dark moon on Tuesday. It won't be in the evening because I've got a coaching call on Tuesday, but it will be during the daytime at some point, I think. Okay? So, we say, be fearless. Stay witchy. Stay witchy, love. Weirdness, weird alert.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. And we will see you very soon. Cheerio.